One of the most iconic experiences at the Science Center of Iowa is the rocket launch. Whether you're a visitor or a volunteer, building your own paper rocket and then launching it down the big rocket launch is one of the most exciting things to do at the Science Center. Let's learn a little bit behind how the paper rockets work at the Science Center of Iowa, starting with the elusive nose cone. Ah! We want to get a shape that looks kind of like this, that's pointy at the end with no holes. So we start out by making a cone. In order to do that, we start out with something that kind of looks like a smiley face or half of a piece of watermelon. And we're going to take those pointy parts at the flat edge, point them together, and then kind of overlap them and then roll them over on top of each other so that it starts to make a point at the top. But we don't want that hole at the top, so we have to keep twisting and twisting until it finally overlaps enough to cover that hole. Great. Then you'll pick out some triangles for the fins, however many you'd like, tape them to your base, and then you'll attach the nose cone to the top, covering all the holes with tape so none of the air can get out. Then you'll stick your rocket on this tube, push this button, and a bunch of air will shoot out, launching your rocket down the rocket launch. Today, we're going to learn how to make a paper airplane at home that you can launch without having to do a tricky nose cone or use an air compressor. You'll just need a sheet of some computer paper. I'm using some old scrap paper of some printouts of some sunsets. Then you're going to fold it over like this. Landscape ways or hot dog ways, whatever you want to call it. Just make sure the fold is nice and folded sharp. Now, you can open it up, check your fold, and then you're going to flip it over again, fold the top corners back on themselves, kind of backwards, so that they meet the fold that you just made. You want those folds nice and sharp too. You can kind of overlap a little bit, but just kind of pull it out. The goal is to make it pretty pointy at the top and to keep your folds nice and folded down really, really hard. Now you'll take the pointy part, pull it toward the bottom, leave about an inch at the bottom between the pointy part and the bottom of the paper. Fold where you folded it over nice and sharp. Kind of looks like an envelope there. Then you're going to take the edges again and fold them toward the center. And you're going to leave a little bit of that pointy envelope shape looking part sticking out. So then bring over the other side, make the pointy parts touch. This printout of sunsets works really good because the pictures line up, so you know that the folds are working really nicely. That worked for me. Okay, now that weird little envelope part that's still sticking out, you're going to want to try to fold that over as best as you can. Push it down nice and tight, and that's going to kind of help to keep the pieces all together. Then you're going to fold it down on itself like this. Again, squeezing all those folds really well. Then you're going to make the wings by meeting the edges to the other edges. Kind of like that. Fold it down. Flip it over. Bring the wing down to meet the edges to the other edges. And it's starting to look like a paper airplane. Now we can open it up a little bit. Check out that point. And yeah, it glides. Now we're going to try to throw it out the window and see where it gets us. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Glides pretty well. Let's see where it landed. Yep, right there in the grass. Cool. Thanks for learning all about how to make a paper airplane with us, and maybe you can try to make one at home too. Try out other kinds of paper, or maybe add things to your paper airplane to make it heavier or even lighter. And as always, go beyond with SCI. We hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.